Hi there, and welcome to Apple World. I think how much cash they examined Kevin regarding spending was like $100,000 to place it in context. Kevin's birthday celebration that year, which his mother threw, was $120,000. Kevin's lease was $80,000. Kevin's Uber Eats presumably surpassed the $100,000 that his mother supports now. How could Kevin Hunter attempt to uncover Wendy Williams' paternity misrepresentation during a period like this? Kevin Hunter is as yet not relinquishing his muddled stranglehold on Wendy and is not entirely settled to exacerbate things for her since Wendy just got determined to have dementia, which doesn't imply that Kevin is going to begin behaving like a respectable individual supposedly hours after. Wendy's narrative broadcasted and showed how terrible things are for her. Kevin attempted to disgrace her and their child. Kevin Jr. is guaranteeing that Lesser took generally $300,000 from Wendy when she was wiped out, and that Lesser isn't his genuine child, not set in stone to convolute issues for Wendy. However much he might, at any point, generally hold tight close since this is going to get insane, and the documentary series says the justification for why her banks were frozen is a direct result of her child. So purportedly, her child spent about $100,000, which is exceptionally typical for her child to burn through that kind of cash, no doubt. So Kevin Hunter feels some strange sort of joy from seeing Wendy endure on the grounds that that is by all accounts the main clarification for what's happening right now. Wendy has been going through a great deal and an exceptionally difficult time for quite a while, and we just got affirmation some time back that things are far more detestable for her clinical group, which as of late put out an announcement about her ongoing well-being status, and tragically, it's not the uplifting news that we were expecting. The assertion said that in 2023, subsequent to going through a battery of clinical trials, Wendy was formally determined to have essential moderate aphasia and front-facing fleeting dementia, FTD. Her side effects, which have influenced her language, correspondence, conduct, and mental capabilities, have proactively introduced critical obstacles in Wendy's day-to-day existence. This ties into everything Tasha K said to us back in 2021 about Wendy on the grounds that Tasha guaranteed in those days that Wendy had dementia. Wendy is finished, and I could do without saying that this lion's entryway got her into a protected house. Okay, she isn't at her Manhattan loft. Wendy Williams is residing in a protected house away from Pop now. She has lost all blood dissemination to the base of her legs and her feet, so she can't walk. Her elector objective is wild, and she is beginning phases of dementia. Anyway, her family rushed to call Tasha K a liar with her sibling, giving an explanation for the family where they denied Tasha's cases, saying we haven't had any alarms like that, and I haven't seen any such thing or have had discussions with her that would persuade me to think that we regularly go up and keep an eye on Wendy, so no, we have no worries concerning her psychological express. It's all physical, however, with what we know now, and what these recordings have been showing. She had been giving a few indications of dementia, even in those days, yet she was unable to get an authority determination since it can require a very long time to years to get that kind of finding. Now you all presumably definitely realize about Wendy's narrative and the way in which hard grievous it is, and not in the least did she concede that she's bankrupt, yet she likewise is by all accounts actually battling with her liquor reliance. She put before an adjudicator and giving a gatekeeper that was the point at which they removed it from us. I have no cash, and I will let you something know. If it happens to me, it could happen to you as her loved ones. We were all remaining uninvolved watching, and she was shouting out for help. Did you drink this entire situation today? Keep it there? Alright, keep it there, given all that Wendy is as yet going through and all that she's likely as yet attempting to overcome in these months coming. You'd imagine that Kevin would essentially leave her alone and not cause some more show. Right? I imply that is the absolute minimum that he could do. Considering his disloyalty began Wendy's downroad twisting in any case, yet no, it seems as though still up in the air to create problems for all her snapshots of her life since he is currently coming after perhaps of the most last individual that Wendy truly trusts and recollects, her child, or rather their child Kevin Hunter Jr. Now what makes what is happening so miserable is the way that Wendy actually cherishes Kevin, even after this time and all that he put her through. Perhaps she doesn't recall the things that he did to her, or perhaps she simply couldn't care less yet. She's still into him in the scene with Dark Chai. Wendy lacked the ability to follow the discussion, however. She demanded that she be Wendy Tracker and not Wendy Williams, and it made everybody extremely upset. I love you so much because, in any event, when I was going through my most obscure occasions, such as when you never utilize that against me. You know what I mean? And that is the way you realize that the affection is like certified and it's continuously going to be there, you know? And I'm going to forever be hanging around for you, like directly up. You can call my telephone at whatever point I'm so serious, and I believe I will be to and fro from New York, so I'm going to be coming to see you all the more. My genuine name is Wendy Tracker. That's right. Yes, he got no cash, no doubt in this other bit when she was conversing with her sibling, and she even thought he was Kevin. So Kevin, I'm so happy you're here ridiculously. Yes, I realize you are. I know you. I was unable to stand by to see you. No doubt, it's exceptionally miserable. And what exacerbates it is that Kevin is still out there carrying on the grounds that, besides the fact that he guarantees their child Junior had been still with Wendy before her conservatorship. However, he is likewise asserting that Wendy undermined him during their relationship and that he isn't Junior's genuine dad. Really not all shocking that Kevin would pull these sort of jokes thinking about that he and Junior have been on the outs for 2 or 3 years now, since Wendy and Kevin split. Junior took his mother's side in the show. This didn't agree with Kevin by any means yet. Wendy petitioned for separation. And she coordinated it so well that she ensured she served him legal documents around the same time that he got terminated from the blustery show. I don't suggest that you work with your significant other. On the grounds that I made him my chief, and afterward when I chose to separate from him, he must be terminated. All in all, I made him separated and jobless across the board day. Yet Wendy had been the one with the cash in the relationship, while Kevin burned through a large portion of her deserved cash on things that she wouldn't actually get herself since she was modest. Perhaps $1,500 every one of the genuine fly fellows realize about that was a gift, wasn't it? You didn't make us purchase that. We purchased that. This is essential for our outlandish drinking. We'll need to discuss that. You know how modest I am. How is it that you could purchase that? Yet Kevin didn't mind. He was carrying on with that great life on Wendy's cash, so when she unloaded him for having a child on her, he was destitute as F and frantically required cash to keep carrying on with this sumptuous way of life that he had become accustomed to. Well, as is commonly said, when all else fails, compromise is unavoidable, and his has made Kevin apply every one of his means to get cash out of Wendy. He requested that the court make her compensation him provision, yet it didn't stop there, since he then too requested that Wendy pay him youngster support, which would have been totally typical with the exception of something minuscule. Their main child was at this point not a minor, since he was at that point 19 at the hour of the separation. So what precisely was Kevin on? Obviously he was solely after Wendy's cash, and that is the point at which he and Junior dropped out. Junior felt like he was cheap in classes, and he felt humiliated by his dad's conduct. Things got so terrible yet between them that they even got into an actual quarrel over it, with Kevin Sr. guaranteeing that Wendy had been programming their child. The battle was so awful, thus muddled, that Lesser got captured for it. In the years since that time, Junior has stayed near his mother and has even kicked against the narrative that her group was driving her to film, asserting that she wasn't in the right brain to agree to shooting the narrative. In a meeting with the child, he guaranteed that she was being controlled by individuals around her who ought to have been safeguarding her. In the meeting, he said, I realize there are a wide range of things happening that I know sane she could never consent to, however hard as it seems to be seeing her being exploited. I know that assuming I'm ensuring she as an individual is okay, that's what is significant, so obvious. Usley Jr. actually cherishes his mother without a doubt, and he's tormented to see that she's being controlled and exploited. He likewise got out whatever's been made more significant by individuals around her, is that while her well-being may not be extraordinary, she really wants to continue to procure pay, and as I would see it, that ought to not be fundamentally important by any stretch of the imagination, and whoever has been employed, they're exploiting somebody who necessitates to get better. Well, the narrative at long last broadcasted in true to form. Kevin has returned to acting a chaotic foe. He uncovered Junior for attempting to take cash. Subscribe Apple World for more videos.